Ah, yes, Scorched Earth, where it is hot as balls and everything here wants to kill you, and it can. Now, doesn't that just sound fun enough to play 100 days on?
No, it really doesn't.
Well, I'm gonna... Oh god, what did I get myself into? Before the video starts, really quickly, there's a new way to support me through my clothing brand called Coolest Penguin. It is cheap, comfortable apparel I design and wear myself. So if you're looking for a way to support me and get some comfortable clothes, go to coolestpenguin.com or link in the description. Let's get on to the video. Day 1, and I spawned into this unforgiving land as an almost naked man with only underwear to my name. My first order of business was picking berries and punching a few trees to help me level up a little bit. And with the resources, I crafted a pickaxe and later some cloth armor and cowboy hat. I had a cowboy hat skin. Man, do I look good. I then came across a dead raptor body that would supply me some very much needed hide, but that did not stop me from wanting more. I later found myself in a valley with a little pond and a few metal nodes. I then began to try and level up more efficiently by crafting and breaking foundations. And I also tamed one of those little jabos instead of killing it for its hide. Seems fitting, and after taming my new companion, I made a small base of operations and knocked out a level 12 Ankylo. I named him Bowser, and before the start of day 2, I advanced into Iron Age. Day 2 was just another day of
Psych, I woke up to the sponsor of this video.
Raid Shadow Legends is an amazing RPG and fantasy game.
But why should I play Raid?
I was hoping you would ask. But first, use my links in the description to download Raid for yourself on mobile phone or PC. Raid Shadow Legends has hundreds of champions that come from unique factions in their own history of their world, Teleria. But I've got one in mind I especially like. Orcs. They usually get a bad rep in most fantasy games, but in Raid, they are far from it. And they had to fight in a brutal war against many factions such as the Bannerlords, High Elves, and Sacred Order. Along with that, their lands were taken from them, and now they are barely surviving being nomads. But in this desperation, there was a queen, Queen Eva of the Elves, allied with the orcs and convincing them to join her cause. She hasn't shared her true motivations with them. And you want to find out more? I knew you would. Play the full campaign story by downloading Raid with my links in the description. But I like much more about the game than just orcs. Players can join a clan to play with others and fight a clan boss for great weekly rewards. But once again, that is not all. Raid just released a new Doom Tower update. There are 2 new huge bosses to fight with new game balances, secret rooms, and artifacts to win. And if that isn't good enough, there's a very special event called Super Raids. These raids let you double rewards and speed up your in-game progress massively. And finally, if you want even more of a head start in Raid, use my link in the description or scan the QR code and you will get an epic hero, Chonaru, who is great in the Doom Tower. You also get 200k silver, 1 XP boost, 1 energy refill, and 1 ancient shard so you can summon an awesome champion as soon as you get the game. And all this treasure is waiting for you, so make sure to download Raid with the link in the description or the QR code. Day 2, and it feels great to not be dead yet. I started off the new day by discovering 2 saber-tooths. I made a trap and then attempted to get them both inside the trap to tame them. I definitely needed more defense if I'm
No,
trying to
don't
stay
detect
alive
the
out
storm
here.
right now. Oh my god, I got them both.
While I failed to knock out one, I went over back to my crab shack to make some more trank arrows for the second one. While I was doing that, my gerbo began to make noise. When they make noise, this usually means a weather event is coming. So while I was tranking out the next saber-tooth, a heat wave struck. Ooh, it's hot. But luckily, I had made a tent to keep me cool. And after tranking down the cat, I picked some silk and made desert cloth, which would help me stay even cooler than the cloth I was currently wearing. My saber-tooth then tamed, and I named him Chubby, after my real-life cat. Here's him, and here is Chubby. I see a big resemblance, but more taming was needed, and I spotted a low-level parasaur who I quickly made mine and named him Perry. I then made a saddle, crossbow, and pistol to protect me when we set off in search for Crystal, and by late day, I had found what I came for and returned to my base. That is not all the adventuring I wanted to do. I did not know those were supposed to be here. Continuing my thirst for adventure, I spent the beginning of day 3 wandering around on my parasaur, but it wasn't all that peaceful. I came under attack quite a few times. No. But later, I came across a level 112 Morellatops that's just begging to be tamed. These things are like land Argies. They have tons of weight and can store water. But taming it turned out to be an all-day task, as I had to farm resources for it, trap it, and I just sat in a tent tricking out because this map is so hot. But before the end of the day, it was mine. Day 4, and I ditched Perry because he would be too slow to follow my Morellatops around. The morning was pretty uneventful because I just spent more time wandering around the desert. But I did manage to make my way up the mountain I was on day 2, and I collected more crystal. But eventually, I made my way back down to the desert and decided I wanted a quicker way to travel. But flying things were out of the question because they were all on the other side of the map, so what's the next best thing? A kangaroo on crack. So I farmed a trap, spent time looking for a high level, found a level 112, and bada bing bada boom, unconscious kangaroo eating a rare mushroom. Day 5, and there was an electrical storm. They don't really have any too major effects, but I think they're quite cool. But after the storm ended, my Procoptodon tamed, and I led it back to my base so it could have a saddle. But I had to farm a few resources first because for whatever reason, some saddles need metal, and Procoptodons are one of them. But after a bit of grinding, lift off. And if I'm gonna be honest, these things are too fun. So I just ended up spending the whole day bouncing around the map. Onyx, recording a voiceover. Day 6, and I am still enjoying the freedom of carefree hopping. But I have responsibilities, and with responsibilities means to not die. And to not die means I need protection. And to have protection, I need resources. To need resources, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I need to farm, okay? I hate farming. But just for you, yeah, you. I'll make it look super happy and peaceful. And montages are boring. And after farming for what felt like an eternity, I found a decent level Thyla. So I made a trap and got it in very easily. Okay. Yes. What? The next day I had to farm some narcotics for the Thyla because it wakes up pretty dang fast. But luckily my Procoptodon is pretty dang good in farming berries. But while I waited for my Thyla to tame, I bounced around the desert, killed some mantises, got some explorer notes, and got an oil rig. These are pretty self-explanatory. They farm oil for you, so you can be lazy. And later with some of my newly gathered resources, I made cryopods and also tamed my Thyla. I named it Mufasa and quickly got back to my base because it was a superheat. And after the superheat was over, I was in need of structures that would keep me cool from future storms, and there's only one that can do this. It's just a structure made out of stone, sand, wood, thatch, and fibers. That means more farming. That's why I knocked out a Doedicurus. Oh! Oh my god. Day 8, and I thought I'd do a little inventory while waiting on my Doed to tame. But when it did, I didn't do any boring farming with it. I actually did fun farming by killing things. And even after that, I went exploring. I knew of a nearby cave that happened to be in a church that contained an artifact I needed. So obviously, I went to get it. Oh! Don't break my armor. Do not break my armor. Oh my. I have no fear. Oh! What's this? Wait, this is already the artifact? It's an easy cave. Oh, we got a sword skin. I know I said montages are boring, but it's either this or 3 days of building, so... Day 12 and I finally got off the montage train, and I realized I had been limited to the ground for a little while. I mean, except for the crazy airtime I get on the kangaroo. So I thought it was time to tame an Argentavis. So I made the journey to the other side of the world, made a trap, trapped an Argy, and made him mine. I then traveled back across the desert and did my first actual metal run. And I also put a trapdoor on the roof of my smelting area for easy access. Day 13, and I was actually feeling pretty motivated to farm with my new bird. I farmed more metal and wood before having to stay in my house because it was dangerous for me to go outside. Sounds like something familiar. Nah, it was just a sandstorm. But after it was over, I decided I wanted a boomstick. But I was missing polymer, so I went back to the outer desert and killed some mantises on Mufasa. But for whatever reason, when I got back, I forgot to craft the boomstick. Day 14, and I found a red drop, but I couldn't flipping open it. But it wasn't all bad, as I grabbed some oil on the way home and looked what I needed for a chemistry bench. So as per usual, I farmed and hated every second of it. But it paid off. And also, I put my collection of wind turbines on my roof and connected wires to them. And it said they were all powered, but they really didn't contribute anything to my base. And there was even 65% wind. The next morning, I was out in the mountains farming crystal for an industrial forge. But why does a forge need crystal? And the rest of the day was basically the same. I just farmed for an industrial forge in a dinosaur game. I hate my life. Day 16, and I knew if I ever wanted to get off this map, I needed to kill the manticore. Or I could just die. But that is the weak way out. And there's only one thing really strong enough to fight the manticore on this map. And that is Rexes. So I made some narcotics, some dinosaur gates to trap it in. Oh lordy, it's a level 134 Tech Rex. Tech Rexes are super rare and they have a chance to spawn higher level than the max level. And this one did. But the only problem was that you can only mate them with other Tech Rexes. But that doesn't matter because it's level 134. But after trapping it with relative ease, I shot the bionic boy into the night because of how high level it was. But after it fell asleep, I killed a racer, then fed it the Rex its meat. It's bionic. Why does it need meat? I guess we'll never know. Or maybe Ark just doesn't want you to feed a dinosaur oil or something to tame. But we have to keep moving. So day 17, I crafted a bunch of cryopods for future taming needs. I then realized my Rex was tamed. And as I was naming it, I was listening to some Young Gravy and I was going a bit crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Lady, mama, baby, with gravy, oh yeah. Oh. And after bringing my new Rex home, I didn't really know what to do, so I decided it was adventure time. And since this map is pretty small, I managed to bounce around the whole thing in under one day on my Procoptodon. Today I continue the grind for the Industrial Forge in a flipping dinosaur game. But after setting my priorities straight in life, I ran around on my Thylacoleo looking for Tyrannosaurus Rexes in a desert, on a spaceship, in a dinosaur game. 30 minutes. Day 19, I thought actually I might be productive today. So I farmed some silica pearls, killed some mantises for their organic polymer, then gathered a bunch of oil and oh!
I miss it! Shit! I miss it! Oh.
Day 20, and I started to make some renovations to my house. I placed the industrial forward and then did some farming to test it out. And sticking with the theme of renovations, I wanted to make a hatching area for my future Rex younglings. And I decided to make adobe foundations for whatever reason, even though they are quite expensive. So I ended up making a 4x4 of adobe foundations that would have air conditioners lining the sides. I wanted it bigger than the hatching area I had on the island. And also, I had tons of fun setting up the cables from my base to the hatching area. The next day I was back out on Mufasa and found another Tech Rex, but it was low level and the wrong gender, so I had to assert my dominance. When I returned home, I had some air conditioners ready to go, so I placed them and I also realized I didn't really have many defenses around my base. So I crafted a bunch of spike walls and placed them around my base. And that was the end of the day because when you craft over 30 spike walls, it takes forever. Day 22 and I still wanted to do a bit more base work, but this time some decorations, and I thought of artifact pedestals, but I needed some obsidian to craft them, so in the early morning of day 22 I was out in the mountain caves farming it, and I thought they were worth my time. They looked really cool. So cool, I wanted another. So I started to get ready for my next artifact adventure. Before I knew it, I was out in the central cave. The cave was pretty simple with the artifact at the bottom, but it was not there when I first arrived, so I ended up waiting about 5 minutes for it. It was worth it because it looked really cool, and I needed it for the final boss to escape this hellish desert. The following day, I woke up and chose violence. But that is not all I wanted to do today, so I started to make some turrets and other structures for Dragon. These nuts across your No, but really, I wanted a wyvern, so I spent the whole day crafting and placing some air conditioners. Day 24 and I just arrived at the wyvern trench. I'm so excited to finally get a wyvern egg. Oh, I shot it. Go. Fly faster. You're so slow. You are so slow. Oh lord. Oh no, 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 no. This is so bad. This is so bad. Bob and weave. Bob and weave. Bob and weave. Oh! Turrets! Shoot it! Shoot it!
Bruh.
But I was back at my base later that day crafting more structures to hide the generator and the electrical box this time. And by the time I got back out there, the day was already over because RGs are slow. What a great way to spend the day! Day 25 and I was back in the trench and I actually found a really good poison wyvern egg. And
Well, my waffles are done. No! I gotta go eat the waffles.
this could go very badly. Fly, fly! Ooh! It's a lightning, it's a lightning, it's a lightning. Turrets. Light them up! Light them up faster! I then spent a little more time shooting wyverns and then running for my life, but I realized it was probably not worth nearly dying every time. So I flew back home with my new egg companion who will be forced to be mine at birth whether he likes it or not. But this dude legit rebelled inside his egg.
What?
He did not want to hatch. I needed more air conditioners. I had like 20 down already. But it was okay because on day 26 I had more air conditioners and it was enough to incubate the egg. But it was also a heat wave, so I did not want to leave the comfort of the ACs for a while. But eventually my wyvern egg hatched and I named him Toxin because his spit is toxic.
Yeah, no dip, Sherlock.
But what did I do for the rest of the day? I was a parent. I sat down with my baby dragon, imprinting it and watching it grow into an adult. They grow up so fast. Day 27 and my baby boy was all grown up. And y'all already know I spent the whole day just killing things. Day 28 and I was still addicted to my new wyvern. And I was feeling pretty ballsy. So I attacked a death worm.
Oh.
Clap. And after my victory over that cursed worm, I wanted to get back into the Rex taming train, so I spent the rest of the day killing Rexes because I needed a tech Rex. But I was lucky. I found a spot where if you killed one Rex and flew a bit away and came back, a new one would always be there. And you wanna know something? Day 29 was the exact same thing. I just killed Rexes for 45 minutes. But day 30 was different. I was tired for looking for tech Rexes when I found a level 120 normal female Rex. So I decided I would tame her in case I got a high level normal Rex. And it went a little something like this. Trap, feed me, and yes, bruh, I'ma tame it though. So I tranked it out without a trap and it went down really fast because of how low level it was. Then my normal Rex tames, I named her Letitia, and later the tech Rex tame and I named him Baby Maker. That's all he's good at, because he was tamed at level 4. Day 31, shoot tons of tranks into it. I farmed some crystal and then made and placed the remaining air conditioners I needed for the hatching area. I also hatched my first Rex egg. It came out with good stats, but it was a female, so I had to keep trying for a good male. But I was not feeling baby raising, so I thought it was time for another adventure for the final artifact. All I knew is that it was in a cave in the mountains, so I set out with hopes to find it. And luckily by the end of the day, I did. The next day, the artifact was mine. There was nothing really in the cave, and it was pretty boring to get. But I came out of the cave with a good flamethrower from a drop. So when I got back to Mace, I made some flamethrower ammo while incubating Rex eggs. And one of the Rex eggs was a good male, so I eliminated the useless one. Day 33 was a day of more productivity. I made an industrial cooker for medical brews to hopefully have a better chance to stay alive. I then farmed some berries and did 2 metal runs. Man, I'm proud of myself. Day 34 was less productive. I was back at the Wyvern Trench, and we all know how fun that is. Especially when you find a good level lightning egg and all the other wyverns decide to chase you for it.
Oh, Lord. Don't breathe, brother. Don't breathe, brother. You're getting messed up.
Yo. All got messed up. Oh, my turret. Wait. Why did you only survive? Why are you on only survive? Day 35, and I didn't really know what to do. I wanted to chill out though, as the previous day was kind of stressful. So I kind of just popped a lightning egg and made him static. Get it? Because his breath is static? Or I guess it's more just lightning? This is terrible. You know what? I'm unsubbing. Day 36, and it was just another day. I was chilling out in my base and raising my lightning wyvern, but a heat wave hit. And instead of being a baby and hiding next to my air conditioners, I decided to go out and look for a phoenix. They only spawn during heat waves, and there are only like 1 or 2 of them at the map at a time. I wasn't really expecting to find any because they're super rare, and that— oh my god! There it is! It's right there! I did not expect to actually find it. Where's the ashes? Where are the ashes? So you want to know what I did for the next 4 days? I built a huge cage around the area I thought the ashes landed in, and spoilers here, just to not get another single heat wave for the rest of the 100 days. What a great way to spend 4 days. Day 41, my lightning wyvern was fully grown, so I had to go on a murdering rampage starting with a death worm. Oh, yeah. What? You're weak. But also, when I was back at base, I needed to have better swords, so I made 3 vaults. Day 42, and guess who spent the whole day at the wyvern scar and got no good eggs? Me. But I was in search of a high-level fire wyvern egg, so I had to keep looking. The next day, after tons of time searching, I managed to escape with a level 52 fire wyvern egg. It wasn't really that good, but I wanted one of each wyvern. And when I arrived back to my house, I just spent some more time organizing my vaults. Today, I made some feeding troughs for my dinos. Some of my lesser used ones didn't go out that much to eat, so I should have kept them all, well, you know, alive. But after that, my wyvern egg hatched, and I named the little guy Torch, because he breathes flames. Then, I just did some farming while waiting in between imprints. Today I was out to tame a Yudi for my upcoming boss fight on the Manticore. When I finally found a decent level, I realized I had dino gates on me to trap it, and Yudis could fit through dino gates. So I ended up just going back to my base to farm and make a trap, and I would come back the next day. Today I was not that much more productive either. I finally had a trap, but the Yudi had aggro to literally everything, and I could not get him in. I spent the whole day doing this for 30 minutes, and I never got him in. I'm going to put day 47 and 48 together because of how similar they are. On day 47, I just shot the Yudis with trank arrows until it passed out, but on day 48, I waited for it to tame, and it— little fishy. Little fishy. Little fishy. Oh, I hit myself! Finally did very late in the day. I might need to up my rates. Day 49 was a bit more interesting than blowing up fish with rockets. First, I found the yellow drop with a ring, and I thought it was my lucky day until— I then crafted my Yudi a saddle and filled up the troughs with meat. And after that, I started incubating some of the Rex eggs I have been passively getting over the days. And before the day was over, I started working on something new. The arena. Day 50 was more construction of the arena, but that was all put on hold when my Rexes hatched, and then a sandstorm hit, and you can't really do anything during sandstorms, so I just had to sit in my base. And the next 3 days were all devoted to the arena. First, I finished building it, and then I tamed the 2 fighters, and third— fight! Oh, yes, here we go. Oh, Destruct wins. Okay, I admit it, that was kind of a lame fight. But what did you expect? It was Jerboas. But we put it behind us now because my new Fire Wyvern Torch is fully grown. So you know what that means. Massacre. The next day was kind of an odd day. I wasn't totally sure what to do, so I ended up just doing a few small things, such as awkwardly walking around my base and doing a metal run. Do you guys want to know something crazy? Even with really boosted rates, babying raising still takes forever, so sadly I had to spend the next 11 days raising Rexes because I can only manage to raise so much at a time. But in that time, I did make saddles and got them all ready to be leveled. And you thought multiple day projects were done? Well, no. I spent another 3 days out at the Wyvern Trench searching for any more good eggs and Wyvern talents since I need them to start the boss fight. But you already know, I didn't get any good eggs, but I got a decent amount of Wyvern talents. Day 71 and I had to start leveling up my Rexes because it can take a while and I don't really want to go into the Manticore with weak Rexes. So for the next 4 days, I just took Rexes out one by one and leveling them, but I realized this was too slow and inefficient. So yeah, I decided it would be a good idea to march all of my Rexes to the other side of the map and have Wyverns fight them for levels. And you want to know how long this took? Yeah, another 4 days. That's like 2 hours of walking Rexes. It was terrible, but the Wyvern fighting was fairly interesting. Day 79, I was back at my base from my Wyvern killing adventure with my Rexes. And after a bit of downtime, I decided I wanted a living rock. These living rocks are called rock elementals, and they can be tamed by knocking them out with cannonballs to the heads. Sounds pretty painless if you ask me. But the only problem is, cannons and cannonballs are super expensive to craft, so I had to spend the whole day getting materials and crafting them. Day 80 and I still did not have all of my needed cannonballs, so I started to head out to the mountains to farm the necessary obsidian when my Jerboa started to make noise again. I was hoping it was a heat wave, so I turned back instantly to get torch and head out to the area I thought the Phoenix was.
Bruh.
I then just gathered my obsidian and crafted cannonballs while crying. In day 81, I gathered up all of my things I need to tame a rock alone, and then flew around the whole map for 40 minutes looking for a decent level. Man, I love this game. And I did the same thing for the next 3 days. I love looking for high level rocks. But all that changed on day 85 because I found a rock elemental worth taming, so I set up my trap and let the fun begin. Oh, yeah. He's down, baby. And luckily there was some sulfur nearby, so I farmed it and fed it to the golem. And it'll take a little bit to tame. And the rest of the day, I didn't really know what to do. I kind of just spent the rest of the day waiting for it. Day 86, not much happened except one notable thing. My Jerboa was kind of making a noise I've never heard before. I think Jerboa just moaning though, bro. Give me the heat wave already. We can get the Phoenix. Oh, it's raining! What? Apparently when Jerboas moan, it rains. Days 87 through 89, and I was out to tame a Daedon for the boss fight. It was really hard to find high levels on this map, so eventually I just took a low level. I made a trap when little Microraptors kept pestering me, so me being on a Wyvern, I had to eliminate them. Not another one. Bruh. Oh my god. Well, that was a pretty bad way to go out.